Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I don't know where it is where you are, but it's like 4 o'clock here. So today I'm going to do another talking video, and so pretty much I'm going to kind of explain kind of like what the meaning behind my tattoos. I'll kind of show you. This is my tattoo. It's butterflies, but it's like one right here, and one right here. And there's a big meaning behind it. It's not just like butterflies because I love butterflies, but it's more than that. And that is kind of why I kind of name all my supporters, all my subscribers kind of butterflies, is because you guys will hear it in the end, but it's like the meaning of butterflies. Basically, in the short term of it is like supporting, and when I was going through a really hard time, things of butterflies helped me through, and all the baseline of it is my college speech, because something that you guys will hear today is kind of like my life isn't like all sunshine and butterflies, pitch perfect life. Obviously I am not perfect but again was right, so I'm gonna kind of because I mean I did it for my graduation, but I want to talk about it. It's very vulnerable speech. I'm surprised I even said all this in front of 200 people and parents, but it was years ago. I think I was going through a lot, and also I told I was scared to talk about this story, but I did it. This version is the more raw version. I did a more, this version was never approved to actually talk about. It was sugar coated. I would say my teachers wanted to sugarcoat things because but I'm like, it's my life. I wish I said it, because through college I did have friends. I had lots of friends in college, and they're really happy, good and bad times. But I was also a lot of the time in college bullied, because I wasn't always happy, and people always want me happy, and it's I wasn't happy. I was going through a lot of stuff, and people made fun of me because I didn't go to class every day. Sometimes I would skip class because I was really depressed. I didn't have the motivation to go to class all the time. There were times where I wanted to, end my life. And so I got made fun of for that. I had self-harm cuts all over my body, and I can go on a whole video about my experience in college and how it's affected me to who I am today. Pretty much this is pretty much the baseline of my story, and I'm gonna talk about what I said, what I written, and it's purely from me, purely my heart. It's kind of like a poem type format. I have it on my iPad, and it's really long, and so I'm gonna read it to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Or if you don't enjoy it, that's fine too. At least people watch it, I guess. Or you don't have to watch it all, and that's fine. But this is kind of my story that I wanted to share today. Okay. I do want to do a disclaimer. I did write this when I was 23 years old. I am 26 now. I was in college. I was learning, and the stuff I was reading, because I made this video today, so I'm editing it. The stuff I read, some of it was hard to read because I misspelled a lot of things on there. There was a lot of spelling errors, and the grammar wasn't perfect because I was also struggling at that time. So obviously I was like quickly writing. I was writing my heart out. So I reread it the best I can. It was not written, the final piece was not written like that. I did edit. I can't find the sugar coated one. I can't find it, and I do not have access to my college stuff anymore. I will try to find it. If I find it, I will put a screenshot of it at the end of this video, and you guys can pause and read it if you guys want to, of the sugar coated one. But this is the raw version. This is the unedited version. This is the version that my true feelings of the story I wanted to do, I guess, that was like, you know, that I wanted to speak about, but I was not allowed to do it because there was too many like feelings, I guess, and there was like too many like emotions on it and serious stuff on it, I guess. So I was not allowed to do that. I was really not allowed to do a lot of the stuff that's on here. Like, I had to pretty much rewrite the whole thing. So I said, "Hello, my name is Anastasia. This is my story, not like the typical sunshine butterfly story. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was being torn apart, and between the trauma and the hurt and abuse, she learned not to trust. Always to have her guard up. Sometimes my life feels like a circle, a never-ending, ongoing cycle, and when I finally come close, it starts all over again. A whirlwind, a tornado, set out to destroy me. Sometimes things begin to get better. Life falls into a new rhythm, a new normal. It may not be the best, but I've made peace with it. I came into this program completely broken, in the misery of my life and the sorrow of my soul, unable to see the light, unable to see the dawn, to feel, to hope, to dream. I found the darkest days of my life kept coming, the blackest nights for my soul never stopped. You see what I do, but forget why you forget what I heard. You forget my pain." I don't know what I was saying at that moment, but it did not make sense. I exploded on the inside, sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once, but always eventually, and having to regain myself deeper and deeper. I fell within myself, and nothing could show me out. The past 4 years has not been easy, nor has it to anybody. Sitting here, not just speaking for just me, maybe you never thought your path would cross these valleys or led by these mountains. It's been a real roller coaster. For my first 3 years, rough. I started out struggling. I completely broken. I was trapped. I had the biggest attitude and closed everyone off. I didn't think anyone would care enough to understand me or be enough for anyone. I felt like I was just too broken for anyone. I thought, how could anyone ever understand where I'm coming from? Even if you ask, even if you listen, you do not really hear or see or feel. You don't remember my story. You all haven't walked through my path. You don't see what I've seen. But little by little, I start to trust again. I started opening up. I had the most serious conversation 4 years ago. First year I struggled hard because I was ready to give up on myself when things got hard. In spring of first year, I started seeing hope. Maybe life will work out. Maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'm not as worthless as I thought I was. But then sophomore year, and it was a setback online, and being in certain really hard situations set me back. I went 50-50 online in person. and teachers started to help me open up, and pushed and pushed. I kept denying it. But one day I decided to open up to my 3rd year. It was a really extremely hard. Mentally took a toll and was hard. I didn't think I was going to make it. I told my instructor many times more, I don't see myself making it. I don't see myself here today. But I made it. As a freshman, I was confused, but also I was coming from a real vulnerable situation, so I was going to try to learn from being chaos to healing, and not going from fight to flight, or always feeling like everyone is out to get me. But I am loved. I am worth it. My first 2 years have tried to give up on myself. This program, I've said, I can't do this, I'm going to drop out. One day, one of my first year instructors sat me down because I was upset and a mess, and told me some insight to take time to slow down. Not everything will be set ready that day, but take it one step at a time, because if you don't know me, I have severe anxiety, and I want my whole life planned out. Know everything I'm doing, but this program has taught me that it's okay to not have it all figured out. But life doesn't work that way. My 3rd year, 4th year instructors have really taught me that it's okay to not have it all figured out, and to take it one step at a time. So thank you for being patient with my anxiety. But from one of my instructor's words was the elephant model, taking each part of an elephant one step at a time. My 3rd, 4th year was really hard. How am I going to be successful? How am I going to make it here today? There is no way. I've lived too much. I didn't think I could take it anymore to keep going, but I'm here. I'm not perfect, but I am a work in progress, and slowly getting better every day. I sometimes feel like my story is like the most depressing story I've ever made, but you wonder why. But you mostly try not to think about it, and try to get by, and try to survive, and all the other stuff seems so much like nothing compared to just wanting the most important things back again. And it feels like almost I might be happy. Maybe I can write my own story from scratch, forget all the past. I know I'm helpless, dependent, but what happens when those you need the most threaten your very existence? Push hard enough, they'll all prove to be empty and gone. I felt like no one wants to hear it. I don't even sometimes I want to hear it. I think I sometimes hate that it's my story. I have felt like wanted to pretend that my story, all I've been through, never happened, and that I can be any other with just stable life and backstory, and act like my life never fell apart, and only thing that fell apart was my disorder. And that's all the tragedy, not the essentials that came with it. But I've learned that it's hard to look back at the rough stuff. I learned that I can't let go all that pain I've faced. Sorry guys. The fact I've just really raw deal. I've seen things in life that no child, no teen, no person should ever see. But I did. I was adopted. I was abandoned as a child. Had to take care of myself since birth. Had to be an adult at birth. Learn how to walk. Take care of myself. And to the point where I almost died 2 or 3 times from hypothermia, starvation, and more. I had to go to house from birth. Mom didn't even let me even know who I was going to be staying with tomorrow, and that person my mom would bring with her life. If they were nice or abusive to her or to me or to both of us, if I can have that relief or be on edge, I felt powerless, scared, lost, seemed like it was always nighttime and nightmares and never morning. And sometimes someone hurts you so bad, stops hurting at all until something makes you feel again. Like a neighbor in Russia saved my life and could not take to see me alone at home. Seeing me cry for help, cops came, took me to orphanage, so I became an orphan. And wasn't easy. I used to think nobody wants me. Nobody will stay with me. I'm stuck with love or anything or everything. I know it's taken away. Orphanages were overpopulated for my age group, the toddler age group, so they sent me to an 8 to 18 age group. I didn't get the traditional caregivers love you should get from a child development. I didn't have caregivers or have the love I was supposed to have. I had to do that for myself. I had to learn my rights from my wrongs. But as I got older, more trauma came with me. As years later after I got adopted made me feel again. Then it all comes back. Every word, every hurt, every moment. And I learned through the years, from the Russian language to English, different environments. I was so confused, frustrated. No one understood me. It broke me that I'm different, messed up, and totally broken. My past defined me. I felt unseen, unheard, unwanted. That's how I felt. Like if I was even anything, the same thing that held me up forced me back down, and a world turned upside down. And order disappeared. But overall I learned that I have a lot of fight strength that in me that most kids never be able to make. But today, graduating college, I almost didn't stay alive long enough to find out. Most say I made me stronger. Yes, I agree with that. But I also say I was a child. I didn't need to be stronger. I needed to be protected. Nothing was how it's supposed to be. The heavy sadness filled my soul. When I was a senior in high school, I would close my eyes, and when I was struggling, I would see the life I imagined. I see something different than what I see now. A better life, a happier life, a happy ever after life, something worth fighting for. Most doctors told me coming out of the orphanage that I would never be able to function in this world. That I have a list of things that I'll struggle with, like ADHD, ADD, attachment issues, learning disability, and a whole wide range of mental issues. And I never ever will be independent or do anything or be anything and be trapped. I felt trapped for the longest time. But I proved statistics wrong. I'm more worthy than what a paper says why I won't be able to function in today's society. For the longest time I gave up, especially especially when I was old enough to drive. My psychologist said because there is a gap in my brain, I will never be able to drive or have a stable job. I did driver's ed. I failed it. The first time I felt powerless. Again in 2020 happened. Everything shut down. Down that summer, I wanted to prove every doctor wrong. I studied online, driving tests every morning, every night, hours, one day, one pass, only with 2 of 1 point off. And I finally passed with flying colors. It was perfect. My driving skills, I finally told myself I'm finally something. I finally can start valuing my life. And slowly seasons changed around me, and it seemed like maybe the world will not be pulled from underneath of me again. Safe fruits starting to grow, little buds of hope for me to slowly attempt to trust this new life that one day, maybe, I feel normal. I won't always be alone. This is my past, my history, my story. It doesn't have to define my future. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am worthy of care. And that glimmer of light, it makes all the difference. The glimmers of light gives me hope that someday my butterfly of rainbow happiness will come. This is my story. I have to make peace with it. No one can break the inside of me. No one can tell me who I will be, and question looms. And to choose. where I go next. We are stars born from a fire, wind born in the chaos, and winds up around us one day. One day we will shine. If you don't know me, I'm a very creative. I love journaling, doing art, so I've taken that into makeup expression of college. I've always wanted to do that as a job. I've never done makeup. Okay, this part is like mostly like what I want to do. I wanted to be a cosmetologist. Never happened. And then it just told me all of that. So that's pretty much my story. So that was my story, and yeah, so that's kind of like what the butterfly tattoo really means. And so then after that, I was in a very toxic, abusive, I lived with my teacher, and it was a very bad experience for me than I thought it was be. That very day that I did that speech, a really bad thing happened. I will get into it on another video, not today's video, because it's a whole story. But if you want to hear about it, just comment down below, and I'll maybe make it soon. But yeah, and so then later, I would say late 2024, around summer 2024, that's when I got my first cat. And I've named him Butterfly because of that speech. It's kind of that butterfly happiness, because he is the first thing that happened to me that made me truly happy. He's the first thing, like, I started to blossom. I was like less depressed. After I adopted him, I never self-harmed again. Like, before I adopted him, I self-harmed a lot. The day I adopted him, I completely stopped self-harming. Never once destructed my body in any way, shape, or form. And so that is why I named him Butterfly, because he has saved me. I love him so much. He's my everything. And so that's kind of my butterfly story. There's probably more to it, but I just can't get it on top of my head. If you guys have any questions, just ask them down below. Comment down below in the section, and I'll answer them. Maybe I'll make another video of a part 2 of this story, to be more in depth from your questions. But yeah, that's pretty much like the whole story. I kind of made like a very long poem about it. It was broken down a very lot because of my college experience and being bullied and teachers bullying me and all that stuff. And so I can go through that too. And so so I hope you guys have an amazing day. I am moving in 2 days, so you guys will probably see me in like a different environment. I'm in my apartment right now, and we're gonna move across the states and stuff. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay healthy, stay safe. You guys can always email me, text me on any of my social medias, comment on the YouTube creative posts. You guys can message me on there. Have an amazing day.